If you could just maybe start by summarising your thoughts on this game, how important is it at the weekend?
Yeah, important in terms it's another 3 points available. Obviously, there's a lot in the game, naturally the build-up. I think I've been getting asked about this game for a couple of weeks now, and we still had to navigate a couple of results, and I understand why, but I think it's for us, we're facing the toughest challenge. It's like Celtic always provide the toughest challenge, certainly in recent seasons, and it's another test for us, but it's a test that we're looking forward to. It's a test that we feel we're going into in good form. It's not always easy football. Try to get that confidence from individuals and through your team, and you get that from results, obviously, but I think we're going into it in a good place. I think we feel ready. I think the supporters feel ready for it. Tynecastle will be ready for it, and we just got to hopefully we can put in a good result, because regardless of what we've done previously in the previous games, and there's good references and some good performances up until now, it doesn't guarantee anything. That when you play Celtic, you've got to be on point, and we're going to have to play really well to get anything from the game, but we're looking forward to it nonetheless.
You're pleasantly surprised at the position you're in going into this game?
Yeah, absolutely. You always go into a new club. Normally as a manager you get into a new club because things maybe aren't quite right for one reason or the other, and it's your job as a staff to try and get it moving in the right direction. So a combination of that, the players' efforts, how the players have been, how the club have been in terms of support, has been terrific. So I think if you look back to day one, and we'd be sitting here almost in November on the back of the performances, we'd be really pleased with that. But it's important that we all recognise the season's still in its infancy. We're only 8 games in, and while everybody else can talk and fans can get excited, and rightly so, and it's great that there's so many people enjoying what we're doing at the minute, from the professional part of it, we've got to just try and maintain good levels, keep trying to improve and see where it takes us. And I do think a good gauge of that will come on Sunday.
As the momentum builds, maybe so too does expectation. You don't think the players will be able to handle that expectation and the pressure that bit?
Players are fine. I think the expectation on myself is just to be as good as we can be every game. I've said this for a number of weeks now. Our fight is with ourselves. Listen, the season's still only 8 games in. It's very early, whether you're in good form or whether you're in poorer form. For any team, there's still so much of the season ahead where you can. The time to judge a team is at the end of the season, not after 8 games. But I do think people can see there's plenty of encouragement being given by what the players are given, and it's important we just keep trying to tap into that. A lot's been made of the recruitment and all the rest of it. I think I need to say that half the team every week, more than half the team, is players that have been here when I inherited, players who were already in the building and are producing good form. Our net spend is probably only a couple of 100,000. We sell Penrice and we bring some players in, but the recruitment's been so smart and so strategic that we're not spending fortunes to get ourselves in a position, and we're in a position because of a real connection with the fans, a connection with the club, good work being done, and working really smartly. And I think hopefully we can, as I say, continue to do that. I'm confident with the way the club's set up that we'll continue to improve, but it's about players. At the end of the day, it's about players going over the line and putting in performances, and I think we're getting that.
Do you allow yourself a wry smile then when you speak there about recruitment, when you hear Brendan say things like, you can't be handed the keys to a Honda Civic and expect to go out and drive as though you're in a Porsche?
I think for us, we're just concentrating on our own recruitment. I think it's been well documented about recruitment is such a tough, the toughest part to get right. We feel that with Jamestown we have that real expertise, and for that it's been a godsend for me. I work closely with Graham Jones. We speak every day and we're planning and looking at what we may need and what's available to us. So I think for any club, and we can only talk from one club, we feel as though we're working effectively, and I can only see that continuing, to be honest. So And I think for managers, it is always the toughest part to try and get that recruitment right.
You're obviously playing Celtic at a point when there's a lot of noise round about them, a lot of unrest off the pitch. We've seen protests across various grounds. Is this a good time to get them, or can it be the opposite? Can it be a dangerous time to play them?
I don't really care. Whoever we play, I don't care whether in good form or poor form. You know, we recognise that Celtic will be a tough game for us. It always is. You know, I've played against Brendan teams often enough, and he's such a top manager, top operator. And Celtic are littered with top players. You know, the squad, they spend the money on the squad that they've got because of the demand, and they're such a good high level of player. So we've got our work cut out on Sunday to get a result. And all I'm focusing on is us trying to be the toughest opponent for them and making sure our performance gives us a chance. So I can't be dependent on any opponent, whether they're poor or whether they're strong. We've got to accept that there's a challenge there, and we just need to concentrate on ourselves.
Is there a sense that just the way that you've started the campaign, that there's just you sense a belief within your dressing room, just that momentum gives you a confidence?
Yeah, I think there is a confidence. I felt that from the outset. I've really, from first day testing, the players have set about the work. We've put a demand on them. I think we've worked them hard. We've asked a lot of them, and they've always come up with the goods. You know, the League Cup campaign was strong throughout the opening stages. Obviously, we've lost a game in penalties to go out the cup, but there was no hangover for that. We just got on with it and knuckled down with the league form, and I'm really pleased with what we're getting. I think there is a confidence about how we're doing. There's a familiarity about what we're doing. We're nearly into November, and we're still only 8 games in, so the season's kind of spread out for us. So there will be a time where the squad will be utilised a lot more and stretched a bit more when the games come a bit thicker and faster. But for now, all we can do is meet each challenge as it comes. The Premier League's difficult to win games back to back. You know, in fact, we've won 4 in the span, 4 clean sheets. It illustrates a lot of good work. It's not just we're not just dependent on 1 or 2 players. It's a whole team working together, and I feel that well, we've had that familiarity. I think the squad strength from behind the main team at the minute, the team that's been playing, is keeping everybody on their toes, and I think that's important. We've got that at a club like Hearts.
You win on Sunday, you could go 8 points clear. At what point do you start to become genuine title contenders?
No, for us, if we can go 8 points clear, that would be good shooting from us. There's no doubt about it. But we could also only be 2 points clear, and for us, we just need to full focus on the game. The game demands our full attention, and it'll be getting that. We understand that we're only, as I say, 8-9 games in after Sunday. If we can win, I think it'll be brilliant for confidence and belief. If we don't win, it's not going to stop us keep trying to believe and be confident with our work going forward. So, but there's 3 points available. We'll do our best to try and get them.
In weeks like this, Derek, how much do you draw on the experience when you had Aberdeen challenging Celtic? And you think particularly to 2015 when you started with that run of wins, and then Celtic were coming to quality, and you can see some parallels between the situations this week.
Yeah, I think it's our job to try, as manager and players and staff, to give encouragement to support, and I think there was a lot of encouragement that year as there is this year. You know, I do feel that we have just really got to not look too far ahead, and I know it's not what you want to hear, but ultimately it'd be foolish to say anything other than that. We're just concentrating on our work. I do feel there's a lot of people would like to see some sort of opposition to the natural order with the Old Firm challenging for titles. But there's also a lot of people a bit envious of us at the minute, and a bit kind of would love to see us fail and love to see us slapped down to earth. And honestly, nobody in the professional part of it is really saying anything other than we've got work to do. Our work, every day at our club needs to realise that for us to be successful, we're going to have to work even harder than what we're doing at the minute, and have to keep improving. The challenge is there. We will work hard. We'll see, and hopefully we get rewards for that over a period of time. But I'm just enjoying what we're getting for the team at the minute, and I think we should be able to enjoy it without putting too many added expectations on us. I think when I come in the job, we spoke to you guys about just trying to meet the expectations of what the Hearts fans want, and the Hearts fans want to see a connection with the team, a team fully committed, and a team fighting at the top end of the table and trying to get those European spots. Nothing's changed for that. a strong start might change some people's opinions on us, and there's nothing wrong with that, but for us we just need to try to concentrate and keep getting wins. I believe the team is capable of winning more often than not, but every game's tight, every game's a challenge in the Premier League, and we're not wholly better than anybody else. We don't think that, but we know if we work towards that, hopefully we get a reward.
Aside from the noise that's around Celtic, the thing that will concern you is analysing the team that you're going to be playing against. Is this any different to the Brendan Rodgers teams that you've come up against over the years?
Not really. It's a familiar. It's the same shape. It's the same identity. It's the same thing. You know, playing with speed through the lines, playing with good wide players, having that goal threat, testing your organisation, testing your discipline. A really strong possession-based team. They always have been. You know, sometimes like every other team, they might not be on point. But for us, it's up to us to be fully concentrated in the game and try and impose ourselves on the game, try to carry our threats and try to make sure that we are as tough an opponent as we can be. As I say, we're all looking forward to the game because it is an opportunity, and we believe there's a performance in us that can win the game.
I know you've got to keep a lid on things to an extent, but in terms of being the figurehead at Hearts at this moment in time when there's so much hype around it, proper box office fixture, people in England talking about it, how exciting is that to be part of?
You'd rather have this than not, do you know what I mean? And I think that's important that we've, you want to work for a club with ambition. I think it's clear from the outset, from the club, showing that ambition, from Tony's comments and Tony's involvement. I think that's elevated things. But the fact is the players are doing their jobs well at the minute, and we just need to concentrate and keep doing their jobs well. I understand that there's a lot of focus on us and a spotlight being shown on us at the minute, but we've got to try and embrace that. And why would we know? Do you know what I mean? We're working for a big club, we're working for an ambitious club, and we believe we want to be successful, we believe we can be successful, and who's to say we can't be successful this season, whatever that success looks like.
You alluded to it earlier, the old guard, kind of the guys who were here before, like Beningame, Devlin, Kingsley, Halkett, Shanklin, they've been through sort of ups and downs in their time here. How important have they been in terms of setting the foundations almost?
Yeah, I think when you come into a club and the club's underperforming for whatever reason, you know, you get a lot of players maybe who are not feeling great about themselves, maybe fingers pointing about maybe underachieving and all the rest of it. So I think when you go into a club, it's important for a manager and the staff to try and make players feel good about themselves, make them feel valued, and give them those opportunities. The lads you mentioned, amongst so many others, have been first class. You know, there's good players here. I always thought there was good players. I think I said that in my first press, that I'm looking forward to the players we can bring in and the new players that are coming in, but I'm also well aware of the capabilities of the players that are already in the building, and the lads that you mentioned have been outstanding.
Team news-wise, anybody back from last week?
So Aju's back training, which is great news for us. Borchgrevink back full training. We had a bounce game yesterday, managed to get some minutes into some. So at the minute it's Ryan Filton, Finlay Pollock, Frankie Kent, and only three that's missing for the weekend. Cheers, thank you.